JRPGs aren't just games. They hit you in the heart. The bonds, the betrayals, the moments that leave you staring at the credits in silence, that's what makes the genre special. So today, we're looking at 15 JRPGs with the most emotional stories ever told. No rankings, no filler, just the games that will stay with you long after you put down the controller. Let's get into it. 15. Final Fantasy Type 0. Most Final Fantasies are about hope, adventure, and saving the world with your friends. Type 0? It's the complete opposite. This is an M-rated war story that doesn't pull punches. You play as Class 0, a squad of 14 young cadets sent straight into a brutal conflict between nations. The twist? In this world, when someone dies, they're instantly erased from memory. Imagine watching a comrade fall in battle, and the next second, nobody but you remembers they ever lived. That mechanic turns death into a haunting tragedy. The world forgets, but you carry the weight. It's a relentless look at the trauma of war. And the ending? One of the most soul-crushing in JRPG history. Not fun sad, but the kind of sad that sticks with you forever. Number 14. Tactics Ogre Reborn. If Final Fantasy Tactics gave us political drama, Tactics Ogre wrote the playbook. This is war storytelling at its most brutal. You're Denim Pavel, caught in a civil conflict that demands impossible choices. And I don't mean press X for good or Y for evil. I mean gut-wrenching decisions where no outcome feels right. Do you massacre innocents to gain a strategic victory that saves thousands later? Or hold to your morals and risk losing everything? Every choice rewrites the path of the war and Denim's own character. Combined with tactical battles where one mistake can cost you a beloved ally forever, the weight of the narrative hits hard. The Reborn edition modernizes everything with voice acting and rebalancing, making the dialogue land with even more force. This isn't a power fantasy. It's a cautionary tale about how ideals can corrupt the noblest of heroes. Number 13. Octopath Traveler II. The first Octopath had style, but felt like 8 strangers in the same carriage. This sequel fixes everything. Here, you get 8 interwoven stories: revenge, faith, ambition, mystery, a dancer hunting the man who ruined her life, a scholar framed for murder, a cleric struggling with belief. On their own, each tale feels like a full JRPG narrative, but now the characters actually cross paths in meaningful side chapters, making the world feel alive. The gameplay mirrors that narrative richness. The break and boost combat is like solving a tactical puzzle every fight, and the new day-night cycle shifts abilities and story beats in clever ways. The result? An anthology where each story lands emotionally, but together they form a tapestry of journeys that feels complete. Number 12. Xenogears. Few games swing as hard as for the fences as Xenogears. You start as Fei Fong Wong, a quiet painter with amnesia in a peaceful village. But when tragedy forces him into a giant mech, his inexperience causes catastrophe. He accidentally wipes out his own hometown. From that personal disaster, the story explodes into a galaxy-spanning science fiction epic about war, reincarnation, and the search for identity. It mixes philosophy, psychology, and religion into one of the most ambitious narratives ever attempted in a JRPG. Yes, the infamous Disc 2 rushes through entire arcs because the dev team ran out of time, but even broken, this game is unforgettable. The mech combat makes you feel the sheer weight of war machines, and Fei's journey through guilt and self-discovery has inspired every Xeno game since. Xenogears is messy, but its ambition makes it a masterpiece. Number 11. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Most Xenoblade games are about chosen heroes and divine destinies. X is different. It's about survival. Earth is destroyed and the last remnants of humanity crash land on Mira, a massive alien world where every step feels dangerous. You're not saving the world from gods, you're just trying to build a home. The real star isn't the cast, it's the planet itself. Colossal creatures roam freely, ecosystems clash, and exploration feels like pure discovery. The moment you you unlock your first mech, called a Skell, the game completely changes. What once took hours to cross on foot, you now soar over in seconds. That shift mirrors humanity's growth, from fragile refugees to pioneers taming the wild. The story isn't told through cutscenes, it's in the exploration, the side quests, the sense of scale. Xenoblade X isn't about one hero, it's about all of humanity fighting for a second chance. Number 10. Persona 4 Golden. If Persona 3 was about facing mortality, Persona 4 is about self-acceptance and friendship wrapped in a murder mystery. You're a transfer student in the quiet town of Inaba, but people are being killed in connection to the mysterious Midnight Channel. To save them, you and your friends dive into a world inside the TV, a surreal fogland where people's repressed insecurities take monstrous form. Each dungeon isn't random filler, it's a literal manifestation of someone's deepest fears. To rescue them, they must confront and accept their shadow self. It's gameplay as therapy, and it makes every victory meaningful. Unlike the somber tone of Persona 3, this game radiates warmth, bright visuals, catchy J-pop, and above all, a cast that feels like a real group of friends. By the end, the mystery isn't just about finding the killer, it's about finding the courage to live honestly. Few JRPGs will leave you with a smile this wide. Number 9. Final Fantasy Tactics. Forget crystals and chosen heroes. Final Fantasy Tactics is Shakespearean tragedies set on a battlefield. You play as Ramza Beov, a young noble caught in a brutal war of succession. His childhood friend Delita, a commoner, takes the opposite path after tragedy rips them apart. One fights inside the system, the other tears it down from the outside. Their friendship and eventual collision drives the entire narrative. The story is told through a historian's lens, revealing how victors twist history. Ramza, who truly saves the kingdom, is branded a heretic and erased from memory. That cynicism gives the tale a weight few JRPGs dare to attempt. Gameplay feeds into the theme. Permadeath isn't just a mechanic, it's a reminder of war's cruelty. Characters you've built for hours can fall and never return. Combine that with Yasumi Matsuno's layered conspiracies, and you've got a political masterwork that proves JRPGs can tell profoundly adult stories. Number 8. Lost Odyssey. Some games hit you with twists, others with action. Lost Odyssey hits you with raw human emotion. You are Kaim Arganar, an immortal soldier who's lived 1,000 years but lost all memory of it. As you journey through a world on the brink of a magical revolution, fragments of his past return, not as flashy cutscenes, but as short written stories called 1,000 Years of Dreams. These vignettes, penned by novelist Kiyoshi Shigematsu, are some of the heartbreaking writing ever put in a game. Tales of families Kaim outlived, fleeting joys, endless grief. They transform a typical JRPG adventure into a meditation on memory and mortality. The combat itself is classic turn-based comfort food, with a small timing twist that keep you engaged. But the heart of this game isn't in the battles. It's in how it makes you feel the crushing weight of eternity. This isn't just a JRPG, it's literature disguised as one. Number 7. Tales of Arise. The Tales series had been coasting for years. Then Arise arrived and blew the doors open. The setup is electric. For 300 years, the advanced world of Rena enslaved the people of Dana. You play as Alphen, a slave who feels no pain, and Xion, a noble cursed to harm anyone she touches. A man who can't feel pain and a woman who can only cause it. That's your central relationship. The story starts as a tale of revolution, but it quickly becomes more than that. It's about trust, empathy, and healing generational wounds. Every party member has scars from the conflict, and their growth feels authentic. Combat mirrors that unity. The fast-paced system is built on boost strikes, flashy tag team finishers that show your party coming together as one. The revolution arc in the first half is near perfect, and the bond between Alphen and Xion anchor everything. Arise tells a story of breaking walls, literal, emotional, and cultural. It's not just about overthrowing oppressors, but about learning that a shared future future is possible. Number 6. Trails to Azure. The Trails series is famous for one thing: unmatched world building. And Trails to Azure is the high point of that achievement. You follow Lloyd Bannings and the special support section, basically Crossbell's underdog police squad. In Trails from Zero, they handled corruption and gang turf wars. Here, everything escalates. Suddenly, you're standing at the center of an international crisis with two superpowers ready to swallow Crossbell whole. The story works because Crossbell feels real. Every NPC has a name, a home, and dialogue that changes after every major plot point. You don't just fight for the world, you fight for people you know. This was once a legend in the West, playable only with fan translations. Its official release proved why fans held it so highly. It's serialized storytelling at its finest. Every twist, every payoff feels earned after years of setup. By the end, you don't just play a JRPG, you live in one. Quick pause before we keep going. If you're enjoying the list so far, consider hitting that like button. It really helps the channel reach more JRPG fans. And if you're new here, subscribe for more deep dives into the games that stick with us long after the credits roll. All right, let's get back to it. Number 5. Persona 3 Reload. When people say JRPGs can get dark, this is the proof. By day, you're a high school student making friends. By night, when midnight strikes, the world shifts into the dark hour, a secret time when monsters roam, and your school becomes a nightmarish tower. To fight, you summon your inner self, a persona, by putting a gun-shaped device to your head and pulling the trigger. That shocking mechanic sets the tone. This isn't lighthearted. Persona 3 is about mortality, loss, and what it means to live. The bonds you form with friends don't just add flavor, they literally power your strength in battle. The Reload remake gives the story modern polish, gorgeous visuals, smoother pacing, and crucial quality of life upgrades, but the narrative itself stays untouched. And that's the right call, because the slow burn final act delivers one of the most emotional payoffs in the entire genre. It's not just a JRPG, it's a meditation on life and death. Number 4. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Some JRPGs make you cry with tragedy. Ni no Kuni makes you cry with sincerity. You play as Oliver, a young boy in a 1950s-style town who loses his mother in a tragic accident. His tears bring his stuffed toy to life, the lovable lantern-nosed fairy Mr. Drippy, who reveals that Oliver might be able to save her by saving her soulmate in another magical world. This setup transforms into a modern fairy tale. As Oliver journeys across a hand-painted world, he literally mends broken hearts, taking spare kindness or courage from one person and giving it to another in need. It's a beautiful gameplay metaphor for healing. The art direction, supported by Studio Ghibli's influence, makes exploration feel like stepping into a storybook. But beneath the whimsy is a story about grief, hope, and finding strength in kindness. Ni no Kuni proves that sincerity can be just as powerful as tragedy. It's a warm hug in video game form. Number 3. Metaphor ReFantazio. From the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5, this isn't just a new game, it's a new stage for their storytelling. The king of Uchronia is assassinated, triggering a magical tournament where anyone who earns the people's support can claim the throne. You're a young traveler, but there's a catch. You belong to a tribe feared and hated for its heretical magic. Right from the start, you're the ultimate underdog, not just fighting for power, but for acceptance in a kingdom on the brink of collapse. The brilliance is how it evolves Persona's DNA. Weak enemies can be cleared in real time, while tougher foes switch into full-on turn-based battles. The archetype system lets you swap roles mid-combo, and the new follower system makes your rise feel like a grassroots campaign, winning hearts one town at a time. It's political, it's personal, and it's bold. Metaphor takes everything that made Persona stories resonate and transplants it into a classic fantasy epic. Number 2. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Few games make you love your characters only to tear them away from you. Three Houses does it with devastating precision. You play as Byleth, a mercenary turned professor at Garrigmach Monastery. You choose one of three houses to lead, each representing a different nation. The first half is almost cozy, teaching classes, mentoring students, and building bonds. Then, the time skip hits. 5 years later, your former students are now generals leading armies in a brutal continental war. The girl you once helped study for exams? She might now be the enemy commander staring you down across the battlefield. There are no cartoon villains here. Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, all are sympathetic, complex leaders fighting for what they believe is right. Your house choice shapes the entire story, and no single playthrough gives you the full truth. It's a story of loyalty, betrayal, and moral ambiguity, one that makes every tactical victory sting. Number 1, Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Sometimes the simplest stories, told perfectly, hit the hardest. Dragon Quest XI is proof. You're the Luminary, a reincarnated hero destined to save the world. But instead of being celebrated, you're branded a harbinger of doom and thrown into prison. From fugitive beginnings, you set off on a grand journey that feels both timeless and fresh. The real magic is the party. Eric, Veronica, Sylvando, every character is unforgettable, and together they form one of the best found families in the entire genre. Their bonds make the world worth saving. The turn-based combat is classic refinement, the world of Rodria is vibrant, and Akira Toriyama's art shines brighter than ever. But the reason this game's story is perfect, it's unapologetically optimistic. In an era full of grim, cynical narratives, DQ11 reminds us that good can triumph over evil, and friendship can carry you through the darkest times. It's not just a game, it's a love letter to JRPGs, a radiant adventure that makes you believe in heroes again. And that's the list. 15 JRPGs that prove story isn't just window dressing, it's the heart of the experience. Some break you, some lift you up, and some do both in the same hour. Now I want to hear from you. Which JRPG story hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments, because I guarantee we've all got that one game that left us staring at the credits in silence. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and hey, don't forget to drink some water, get a little sunlight, and I'll catch you in the next one.